Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. So, a while back, a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there, I referenced in some video, I don't remember what, that I was doing something with, that I had a project running that I hadn't told you about, and that I was keeping myself accountable through a different community that I hadn't told you about. And I'm now going to tell you about it. And I'm going to tell you about it because I stopped. I stopped doing it. Not the project necessarily, well, kind of the project. But as many of you know, big David Lynch fan, and I most recently read his book called Room to Dream. And what I learned from that book is that David Lynch is a multifaceted artist. He does not hold himself to one art form, though most people know that he is a movie maker, a director. He's also a musician and a sculptor and a painter and a woodworker and a builder. He does all the things. A gardener. He has various outlets, and he kind of drifts between them as his whims draw him in. And that's always the way that I've felt. I've always thought that I was supposed to be an artist, and I just gave up on that early in my life because I realized it was going to be too difficult, and I decided to take a normal, everyday job path. But as I've aged and gotten used to the idea of maybe I could do that, maybe it's not too late, maybe I could be the artist that I think I'm supposed to be, I have tried various times to kickstart some sort of art type project. So in 2020, I did the Try Every Day project where I was doing artwork on a daily basis and posting it to Instagram, regardless of how bad it was. It was just a sketchbook that I was carrying with me. I tried NaNoWriMo. I tried writing a novel. I tried recently, I don't know that I told you about this, but recently, at the beginning of this year, I started writing a short story every week. And I wrote a few of those, completed a few of those, probably 4 or 5 of those. They suck. I deleted them all. They're all gone. They were terrible. But what I realized from reading David's book is that it's okay to not have like the thing that you do. I'm this thing. And to drift. Also, David Lynch has a YouTube channel. Every day, he posts a weather report from LA. Every morning at like 11 o'clock. And so I decided that I was going to start trying to do art every day, whatever that is, and not hold myself to a discipline. And so for the past month and a half, I have been doing some form of artwork, whether it's those little movies I was making, or stories, or drawing, or photography even. Oh, that's the other thing. David's also a photographer. I've been trying to do those things every day. And I have been holding myself accountable on David's YouTube channel. So I was posting what I had been doing as an artist every day on his video. And I did it for a month and a half. And in that time, that month and a half, the only thing I have to show for it currently is that little bug video that I made. That just kind of happened. It was a spontaneous thing. I mean, I have some photography. So there is some photography that I've been sharing on Twitter, board game photography. I have not started. I think I'm going to start a photography Instagram channel. Right now, my Instagram that I currently have that is me, I use for my woodworking and like my kids and life stuff. I don't really use it for board games and all that sort of thing. So I think I'm going to start maybe an Instagram channel that's just pictures I take with my camera, whether that is board games or not. I think it's going to be just pictures that aren't necessarily they don't tell a story. They're just photography. Maybe soon. I don't know. Anyway, the point is I stopped that project. Not because I'm no longer doing art, but because I realized that holding myself to saying I have to do something creative every day is unrealistic. Especially like while I was at conventions during that time. I went to Origins. I just came back from Dice Tower Con. it's very, very difficult to say, I'm going to do art today. I'm going to do writing. I'm going to do photography. I'm going to do some drawing. I'm going to, whatever. And some days that the creativity's not there, and I just have to sit and think. And while I consider sitting and thinking to be a part of the artistic process, I think it's an extremely necessary part of the artistic process. It's not something that you can hold yourself accountable to and say, I did art today because I thought. And so I stopped the project. I'm not going to continue updating. I will continue updating on David's videos when I do achieve something, but I'm not going to continue trying to force myself into putting out something every day for the sake of saying I did, right? That seemed to be very crushing. But I had a really fun time doing it. There is a really interesting community of people that watch these daily videos from David. They're like 1 minute to 2 minutes long, and it's literally just David telling you the news. He will pick a song that he talks about, that he'll tell you he's been thinking about. He doesn't talk about it. A song is, and that's it. That's it. But he's got a pretty cool core group of people that go check every day and comment on each other's posts and stuff. And so it was actually a really fun experiment. But that's what I was referencing weeks ago when I said I was doing something I hadn't been telling you about. And the main outcome of that so far, I have quite a bit of footage filmed for my next experimental video. I need to see if my kid is willing to be a part of that, and if so, I need to go shoot some shots that involve them, doing some stuff. So we shall see. But in the meantime, we are back with Questions with Chris. He actually called in, and I think he has something to say about me saying that, maybe it was over, or taking his spot away from him. And where's the thing? I also figured out how to play this through the speaker, so you'll be able to actually hear him this time, I promise. So this is Questions with Chris again.
Hey friend, it's Chris. How are you? Don't you dare give away my unnamed spot. Hey, I was going to ask some Dice Tower convention questions to start the week off, but I cannot believe over your right shoulder I have never noticed this before. Are you a Pastafarian? If so, explain to the people what one is. Until next time.
Am I a Pastafarian? If you don't know what that is, here is the flying spaghetti monster that I had a friend 3D print for me. I had a couple of these laying around. Am I a Pastafarian? I've read the book. Does that make me a Pastafarian? I still hold that I am agnostic, but if I were to be a member of a religious order, it would be the Order of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. I would be a Pastafarian. And if you don't know what that is, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but you should go look it up. Look up the Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's basically a religion based on the idea that there is a flying spaghetti monster at the edge of the universe who controls all things. And, as a Pastafarian, there are certain rituals and things that you are meant to uphold. And it's a fun book. It's a interesting read. So, yeah. I mean, it's there for a reason, right? There you are. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is modicum. It is a noun meaning a modest amount, a small quantity. To be human is to have one's modicum of romance secreted away in one's composition. Mark Twain. Modicum. M-O-D-I-C-U-M. If I was going by this pronunciation guide, I think they want me to say modicum, but I have never heard it pronounced that way. I have always heard it pronounced modicum.